point where I'm ready to join the increase sections together, front and back on each side, and just continue work on the body until I've grown that to a length that I'm happy with. And then I'll be showing you how to get ready. I'll be showing you how to get started on the sleeves, but before that, we're just going to do this and carry on. All right, where are we? Oh, I'm lost. Here we are. All right, so after I've joined my last round, what I'm going to do is just chain up 2, 1 and 2, returning, and we're just starting another round as normal. But what we're going to do is we're going to meet back up when we get to this cluster of 4. So I'll meet you at this cluster of 4, the first lot of increases, and we'll go from there. Okay, here I am at the first lot of increases. So I'm just going to make sure I'm all prepared. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to refocus. Now, here is our first lot of increases. So what we're going to do, so there's 4 stitches there that we're working with. Well, anyway, what we're going to do is go into the first of those with a double crochet. Then into the second, so the second one just here out of these 4, you're going to go in, but what you're going to do is you're going to work your way along the shoulder section just here till you get to the next lot of increases. So here are the next lot of increase. You're going to bypass those first 2 of the increase, then on the third one, so the first of the second lot, which is next along on the shoulder section, you're going to go in, yarn over, pull through that stitch there, and then pull it through the one you went through over here. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So basically you've double crocheted together the second of the first lot on this side and the first of the second lot on this side of the sleeve. So now what we're going to do is just bypass the sleeve completely. We're going to move on to doing our pattern for the front. So you're just going to work a stitch right into the next stitch along on the front there, like so. Moving straight along, you're going to complete the pattern at the front. I'll meet back up with you for the other sleeve, but I mean, I'm pretty sure you know what to do. You just, like I said, I'm going to meet back up with you. So complete the front, and I'll see you at the next increase section. All right, here we are at the next cluster of increases. So once again, we're going to put a double crochet into the first of that first lot of 2 increases, or that first lot of increases. Then into the second of that first lot, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, work your way along, sort of folding the sleeve towards you as you go, working your way along to the next set of increases. You're going to bypass the first 2, and then into the first of the second lot, you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull through that stitch, pull through the stitch on the other side, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there we are. And now you're just going to go straight into finishing up the rest of the stitches at the back. Once you get to the end, you're going to slip stitch into the, same as what we did before. Same as we've been doing, same thing. So you're just going to do that, chain up 2 and turn. However, now you don't have the sleeves to work with, so you're just going to be putting double crochets in at the back, working the pattern at the front until you're happy with the length. Until you are happy with the length. Getting thirsty again, of your sweater. And then once we've done that, what we're going to do is just put that aside for the moment. We're going to work the sleeves. We're going to do the sleeves after we've done that. So we don't need to meet back up until we've done the body. And that's it. All right, we'll go away. We'll do that. We'll finish up. We'll meet back up. See you soon. All right, now I've increased my sweater to a length that I'm happy with, and what we're going to do now is we're going to cut these bits that we're no longer working with. So just basically cutting these off, set those aside, and we're going to secure those. I'm going to show you later how I deal with this messy stuff on the inside to make it less messy. But for now, what we're going to do is just tie these off. So to do that, I just find one of these sort of bars at the back here. Just secure like so. So pull it tight to pull it tight to secure. Do the same with this one. And then what we're going to do, don't tie off your main color. So you can see just here I've cut the two colors that I used to create the pattern, but I'm not cutting this one here, because what we're going to do is we're going to create the hem straight off our last stitch that we did for the end of the last round. So to do that, what we're going to do, and it's good because I've got the right side of the work facing me. You sort of want the right side of the work facing you, because the way we're going to be doing this, you'll see how we go as it goes along. Anyway, we'll get straight to that. So I've tied off the loose ends of the pattern. And yeah, so what we're doing now, creating the hem, we're doing the hem straight off the last round. So it's basically another round, but it's the hem. And you'll see in a moment. But for this, what you're going to be doing, you'll be doing the same thing for the cuffs. Once we've done the sleeves, this is the same thing you'll do. So I won't need to show you that. I'll just, you would be able to go away and do it yourself. So what we do is, straight from our last stitch, our last round, we're going to chain 11. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got our chain of 11. Now, just like we did for the collar, you're skipping that first stitch from the hook. You're going to single crochet into the second stitch from the hook. So that's 1. Then every stitch all the way back to the beginning of that chain. All right, so here I am with that row of 10 single crochets. So what we're going to do now is this row of 10 single crochets that we've just done represents the stitch right beneath that chain of 10 or 11 that we did just there. So what you're going to do into that stitch is you're just going to slip stitch to secure that row of single crochets that you've just done. Now, to represent the next row of single crochets that we'll be doing, we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch along. So just slip stitching into the next stitch along. And what you're going to do is sort of awkwardly turn, but you'll find that once you get going, it's actually pretty easy. So you're sort of turning to this side of the work. Now you're going to put your first stitch into that first single crochet along just there. So remember, through the whole of the first stitch, making sure you've got your yarn pushed to that side. Through the whole of that first stitch, single crochet, then into the top back part of stitches 2 through to 9. So here I am, I've done stitches 2 through to 9, and now I'm going to put the 10th stitch through the whole of that stitch. Like so, just like the first, just like the collar. Getting muddled. Okay, all right, so what we're going to do now is chain up 1, and you're going to turn this way, and just the same as we did for the collar. So you just, every stitch through, every first and last stitch through the whole of the stitch, stitches 2 through to 9, through the top back part just there. Now, once we get to the end of this row, row 3, what we're going to do is, we'll just get to the end of it together, like so, through the whole of that last stitch. And now, moving on, you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch along on the hem, just there. So into that next stitch to secure this row of single crochet you just did then. Slip stitch to pull tight. Now to represent the next row of single crochet that's going to be going up that way, you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch along. So you can kind of see how it's going. Now what I suggest is keep this hem fairly relaxed, because this is sort of an oversized slouchy sweater. You won't want the hem to be too tight. Yeah, that's it. That's all I need to say. Also, try to keep your tension very consistent, because if you don't, especially with these, collars and cuffs, the ribbing, it can get very sort of wonky, and it won't look good. So you just want to keep it very consistent all the way through. And that's it. All right, so you'll be doing that. You'll be doing that until every stitch is filled up with a row, as we've been doing. So, yep, we're just turning, going into that first one, 1, And you're going to do that all the way around till you get to the end. I'll meet back up with you. We'll see how it looks. We'll talk about how we're going to join that up. And then we're going to move on to how we're going to do the sleeves. All right, see you for that. All right, so I've finished the ribbed hem, and it should look, you know, just like this. So that looks pretty good. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to join the two ends of the hem, and we're just going to use the same method that we used for the collar. So I'm going to use this last slip stitch to the final round as my sort of first pull through. It doesn't matter, my first stitch. But just straight from there, we're going to single crochet join into the first of these foundation chains of the hem along. So you're just going to single crochet in like that, and that represents the first stitch just there, and then you're just going to move to the second stitch along. So this one, you're going to go in and remember into the top back part of that stitch like we did for the collar. You're going to pull that tight, move to the second foundation chain along, so that's 2, drop that stitch, move to the third, and so on till you get to the end. So that's 3. All right, so I'll meet back up with you when it comes to, we'll finish this up. I don't think I need to meet back up with you after this. All you're going to do once you've done that, you're just going to tie off, cut the yarn. We're going to meet back up to start work on the sleeves. All right, see you soon. All right, now let's do the sleeves. So what you're going to do is making sure that you're working into the stitches. So you move to where you joined the increase sections just here. We're going to do the sleeves parts that we bypassed. So what you want to make sure is that you're working into the part of the stitch that you would normally be working into. So the side should be facing you, that you would normally be working into if you'd chained up 2 and turned. So it's going to be the unbraided side of the stitch that you're working into. So for me, that means that the pattern is facing outward, so the right side is facing me. And what we're going to do is look for the place where you joined the increase section. So there's that stitch there and that stitch just there. Get a bit closer so that you can see. So there's that stitch there and that stitch there. What you're going to do is stick your hook through the next stitch along closest towards you. You're going to find a fresh piece of yarn, whatever color you want. You can do the sleeves in the same color or, you know, whatever. It doesn't really matter. All right, so I'm just using the same color. You're going to adjust your slip knot, fresh slip knot to the hook, pull it through that stitch, pull tight, chain up 2. And now what you're going to do is you're going to put your double crochet, or your first one, into that same spot that you put the slip knot and chain of 2. You're going to double crochet just like that. Then you're just going to put a double crochet into each stitch all the way around till you get to the end. Your last stitch will not be either of these ones that you've already where you joined the increase sections. Don't use those. Just the last stitch will be the last stitch along. I'll meet you at the end. We'll do it together. And we'll talk about closing that gap as well, because we're going to need to do that. All right, I'll see you at the end of the round. All right, here I am at the end. And as you can see, I've not used either of these stitches that we used for that join just before. So actually, now what we're going to do is taking out the last stitch, because I want to do the same thing that we did when we started work on the body of the collar. So you're going to yarn over, go into that stitch, then just going into that, where are we going to go? We'll go into the first stitch where we slip stitched and put this first double crochet. You're just going to, yarn over, go into that last stitch, angle your hook around, go into that first stitch at the beginning, pull through a loop, pull that through that stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, double crochet. So there we go, we've just closed that gap. Now what you're going to do is you're just going to slip stitch into the top of the first stitch at the beginning above that chain 2. To close the round, chain up 2, turn, double crochets back in the other direction. And here you're just growing the length of the sleeve to a place that you're happy with. So basically what you got to do now is, obviously, because you're adding the, I'm just going to measure this quickly, you're adding the ribbed cuff, and like I said, the method for that is going to be exactly the same as you did for the hem of the body. So with this, I'm just measuring that ribbed hem, and it measures to about 7.5 centimeters. So if you're using yarn that's the same as mine, the same weight, then you're going to need to sort of factor that in. So obviously stop the double crochets when you get to a point where you're going to be needing that 7.5 to complete the length of the sleeve. So yeah, hope that makes sense. That's what we're doing. And then at the end of that, tie off, weave in your ends. I will meet back up with you to show you how I sort of hide away the messy bits on the inside. Obviously there are going to be other methods of, you know, doing this, where if you were doing the graph for the Argyle, you could have crocheted in the inside messy bits as you went along. But I find I don't like that, because the messy ends show through to the front. So I just, you know, I prefer what I do. It's all up to you. Do it however you want to do it. Yeah, but yeah, I'll meet back up with you, like I said, to show you how I do that, and then that's it, we'll be finished. So, okay, I'll see you soon. Alright, so here we are. I've almost finished, and I've woven most of the messy bits in at the back, but I've just got one more bit to weave in before we meet back up out in the courtyard to see how this looks. So yeah, I think this is going to look pretty good. I'm actually really happy with how this is turning out. Anyway, so I'll just quickly show you how to do this. So what I do is I just get a normal needle, or you can use a darning needle if you want. I just find a normal needle is easier, so that you can really pick out small bits of the stitches at the back. You don't want to go through the whole stitches, because you don't want this to show through in any way at the front. So yeah, and I'm just threading a piece of yarn to that needle, like so. Then you're just going to find a spot. Hang on, I'm going to try maybe zooming in a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about a bit better. Right, yes, that's good. So, just like this, picking up that thread. And like I said, you're just picking out small bits of the stitches at the back, so you don't want to go through the whole stitch. Just pull that through around the loose end that you're sort of weaving in. Then, I'm just going to tie that there quickly. Do a double knot, and then you're just weaving around sort of like this, picking out those small bits at the back. You may think this is quite time consuming, and I mean it is, but it's worth doing just so that everything is woven in and you're not sort of catching it on anything when you have to wear it, you know, sort of like that. I also find this very sort of, well, slightly cathartic. You know, you can sort of sit, listen to something, watch a movie while you're doing it to help pass the time. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's really all I need to say. So you're just doing it like so. And that's it. I'm happy with the results. So I'm going to go away, finish up this last bit. And now all we need to do is meet back up in the courtyard. We're going to see how it looks. Yeah, that's it. All right. I'll see you in the courtyard for that. Alrighty, here is the finished sweater dress. Yeah, so there it is. So as you can see, it's fairly complicated to make, but you know, once you get used to the repetitions, it becomes really easy. That's it. I love this design. I'm actually really super proud of it, and I will definitely be wearing it out in public. Looks really good beneath a long coat with some nice sort of ankle boots with here. Lovely. Anyway, yes, I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you have made yourself a lovely sweater. Let me know. Let me know if you've enjoyed it. Aside from that, I don't think there's much else to say. Yes, look forward to seeing you again soon for our next project, which is going to be a hooded dress. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.